I mean, I could feel it through the screen. The man looked like he'd been carrying 1,000 pounds of pressure on his shoulders, and all it took to tip him over the edge was one question. Just one, a simple question about Shedeur Sanders. And suddenly the whole room went cold. The carefully crafted image of a united, forward-thinking Cleveland Browns organization crumbled right there, live on the mic, like a wet paper bag splitting open. Now let me take you into that room. A reporter looks up and asks the question we've all been screaming for weeks. Why hasn't Shedeur Sanders, after absolutely torching defenses in the preseason, gotten a shot to start? Why is he holding a clipboard while this team trots out quarterback roulette like it's some kind of genius strategy? And that's when Stefanski's demeanor changed. Normally, he's calm, calculated, you know the type. But this time, the voice went sharp. His eyes narrowed. He took this sharp inhale, the kind you hear when someone's trying to hold back anger, and for a moment, the silence in that room was louder than any words he could have said. And then he unloaded. Not with clarity, not with honesty, but with a messy string of defensive coach speak. It's not about one player. We have a process. He's young. We're thinking long-term. You know what that is? That's panic wrapped up in a word salad. That's fear disguised as strategy. The translation is simple. We know we've got a star on our hands, but we don't have the guts to admit it because it'll expose the fact that we've been wrong all along. Let's build a totem pole together. Smash like, subscribe, and comment. If this video hits 2,000 likes, that means we're beating the Baltimore Ravens. Let's make it happen. And that's the heart of it, isn't it? This isn't about protecting Shedeur. It's about protecting egos. Because let's be real. Every coach, every GM, every executive in this league has heard the whispers. They've seen the film. They know what the rest of us know. Cleveland has lightning in a bottle, and instead of uncorking it, they're hiding it in the back of the fridge like they're scared it might explode. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders. He is not your typical rookie. He's not some raw project you stash away for 2 years. This kid walked into the NFL already polished, already professional, already carrying himself like he belonged. He doesn't just hope for a few snaps in garbage time. He doesn't want to be developed slowly. He is ready now. And the scary part? He already looks better than the guys ahead of him on the depth chart. Now don't take my word for it. Let's talk preseason. Every time Sanders stepped on the field, he didn't just move the offense, he controlled it. The timing, the pocket presence, the deep ball accuracy, it was all there. And maybe the most important thing of all, leadership. His teammates responded to him. You could see it in the huddle, in the way receivers trusted him, in the way the sideline lit up when he made plays. That's not something you fake. That's not something you teach. That's just it. And Shedeur's got it. So why the hesitation? Why the fear? Because Cleveland knows the second they start him, the narrative changes. It's not about protecting Shedeur. It's about protecting the front office. It's about ownership not wanting to admit that their investments in other quarterbacks have already gone bust. It's about coaches not wanting to be embarrassed by a rookie walking in and doing their job better than their chosen starter. And let's not pretend this is just about Cleveland fans anymore. The whole league is watching. When Travis Kelce is out here liking posts about Sanders being benched, when Derek Carr gets asked about the situation and all he can muster is a shady no comment, you know the NFL grapevine is buzzing. This is the kind of drama that spreads fast. And the locker room? Oh, you better believe they feel it. You don't think those veterans know who gives them the best chance to win? You don't think the receivers haven't noticed who actually hits them in stride? You don't think the defense hasn't realized who keeps them off the field longer by sustaining drives? Players notice everything. They always do. And you can already feel the tension bubbling. This is bigger than one quarterback decision. This is about a franchise that has been haunted by its quarterback curse for decades. From drafting busts to letting future stars walk, the Browns have a history of fumbling opportunities. And right now, they're fumbling again. They've got their potential franchise savior sitting right there, helmet off, headset on, being treated like a distraction instead of the solution. And the irony? Shedeur Sanders is the calmest person in the building. He's not out here subtweeting the team. Not out here making cryptic Instagram posts. Not demanding trades like a diva wide receiver. He's playing it cool, stoic, professional. And that calmness, that's almost worse for the Browns. Because the calmer he stays, the more obvious it becomes that he's not the problem. They are. So let me zoom out for a second. This whole saga is not just about Shedeur Sanders. It's about organizational fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of letting go of the past. Fear of embracing a future that doesn't look the way they pictured it. And fear, my friends, is the worst decision maker in sports. Fear gets you benched when you should be starting. Fear gets you booed when you should be cheered. Fear loses you locker rooms. Fear loses you fan bases. And if Cleveland doesn't figure this out fast, fear is going to lose them Shedeur Sanders. Because let's be real, this kid is too good, too smart, too marketable to waste away in chaos. He's got options. He's got leverage. And if you don't think other teams are watching this disaster and whispering, man, if they let him go, we're calling tomorrow, you haven't been paying attention. Think about Detroit. Think about Atlanta. Think about any team desperate for a quarterback of the future. They'd snatch him up in a heartbeat. And the Browns? They'd be left with nothing but regret and another chapter in their long, tragic history of quarterback mismanagement. So what's the play? For me, it's simple. You rip the Band-Aid off. You admit you made a mistake. You stop hiding behind process and patience and you start the kid. You give him the reins. You let him lead. You show the locker room, the fans, and the league that you actually believe in winning more than you believe in your pride. Because here's the reality. If they don't, the boos are only going to get louder. The media is only going to dig deeper. The tension is only going to get worse. And when Shedeur eventually leaves, oh, the fallout will be catastrophic. We'll be sitting here years from now saying, remember when the Browns had Shedeur Sanders and they let him slip away? And trust me, the league will remember too. It all started Wednesday afternoon, right after the team wrapped up final prep for this critical divisional matchup. From what insiders are saying, Gabriel walked into Stefanski's office, ready for answers. He wanted to know why his practice reps were shrinking, and that's where everything blew up. Voices were raised. Words were exchanged. Gabriel storms out, throws his hands up, and tells his teammates, "If you want me, you can have me. I'm done here." Just like that, and what happens next? Stefanski immediately calls an emergency meeting with the front office. Hours later, the hammer drops. Gabriel suspended indefinitely for conduct detrimental to the team. And if that wasn't enough chaos, multiple insiders confirm he's also requested a trade. Now don't get it twisted. This wasn't some random outburst from Gabriel. This has been simmering for weeks. Ever since Jimmy Haslam, the owner, started publicly praising Shedeur Sanders, things have been building to this point. Stefanski and the coaching staff wanted Gabriel. He was supposed to be the guy with a development plan, a fair competition, a shot at growing into the role. Instead, he watched the reps, the media buzz, even the locker room attention shift to the rookie who went in the 5th round. And here's the thing. Gabriel never cracked in public. He trained hard, nailed the playbook, looked the part of a professional. But Wednesday, that was the breaking point. That's when it all snapped, and now the locker room's divided. From what I'm hearing, the offensive line, mostly behind Gabriel. The receivers, they're flocking to Sanders. The defense? They're trying to stay neutral, but behind closed doors, guys are whispering about a leadership vacuum. This isn't something you fix with a quick team meeting. This is a season-defining fracture, right before the biggest game of the year so far. And outside the building? Forget about it. Browns fans are at war with each other on social media. One side's riding with Gabriel, talking about his experience, his system knowledge, his steady hand. The other side's all in on Shedeur, the swagger, the playmaking, the charisma. Hashtags like Mede Shedeur QB1, Let Him Cook, even other Brown Sanders are trending nationwide. And the arguments? Brutal. It's toxic. It's emotional. Because let's be honest, Browns fans have been through decades of quarterback heartbreak. They're desperate. They're divided. And now they're watching another disaster unfold right before kickoff. And inside that building, the politics are just as messy. Sources say Haslam's furious at Gabriel, blaming the coaching staff for not keeping him in line. Stefanski's stuck in an impossible spot, disciplining the quarterback he wanted while the owner clearly favors Shedeur. Andrew Berry, the GM, supposedly tried to push back, wanting to handle things internally. Mediation, discipline, not suspension. But Stefanski overruled him and sent a message. Team discipline comes before draft position, before ownership politics, before media narratives. That's a bold move. Some would call it leadership. Others might call it career suicide, and it doesn't stop there. I'm hearing the league office, yes, the commissioner himself, is watching this situation closely. Roger Goodell even reached out to Haslam directly. On one hand, he's concerned about the Browns spiraling into chaos. On the other hand, he knows Shedeur Sanders is a marketing machine. Viewership, demographics, merchandise, you name it. One exec even said it's all tied to him. Think about that. The league itself is circling this kid like he's not just a quarterback, but a business asset. So let's talk ball for a second. Because at the end of the day, this has to come down to performance. And make no mistake, both quarterbacks can play. Gabriel, his footwork, his processing speed, his accuracy in the short to intermediate game, all on point. He looked like a guy who could command this system. Meanwhile, Shedeur, he's got the arm talent. He makes throws that drop jaws. He improvises when plays break down. Sure, he struggles with protection sometimes, but his playmaking is electric. Even the coaching staff, who resisted at first, are starting to come around. The difference? Personality. Gabriel is the grinder, the technician, the guy who studies until his eyes bleed. Shedeur, he's the brand. He's the son of Deion Sanders, the camera crews follow him, the endorsements are already stacked, and he thrives under the pressure. What would break most rookies? It fuels him. He's calm. He's focused. And in practice, he's been delivering even while the world around him burns. Let's build a totem pole together. Smash like, subscribe, and comment. If this video hits 2,000 likes, that means we're beating the Baltimore Ravens. Let's make it happen! And now, this Sunday against Baltimore, the stakes couldn't be higher. What was supposed to be just another divisional game has turned into a national spectacle. John Harbaugh and the Ravens defense? They've already torn up their old playbook. The blitzes they had ready for Gabriel's limited mobility? Scrapped. Now they're disguising coverages, preparing for a kid who can make a play out of nothing. Harbaugh even told his staff, prepare for everything. This kid makes plays nobody expects. When you've got that kind of respect from a Super Bowl winning coach before, you've even started your first big game. That says a lot, but here's the truth. This isn't going to be a quick fix. Every practice, every press conference, every word that comes out of Stefanski's mouth is going to be dissected and spun. Sanders isn't just playing quarterback. He's carrying the entire weight of this franchise's dysfunction on his shoulders. He's playing to prove the owner right. He's playing to shut up the critics. And he's playing with the knowledge that Gabriel, a guy with legit NFL talent, is now looking for a new home and a fresh start. And the craziest part? This isn't just a quarterback controversy anymore. It's a referendum on the entire Cleveland Browns organization. How they handle this might not just decide their season. It might define their culture for years. So when Shedeur Sanders takes the field against the Ravens, this won't just be a football game. This is a test of leadership, a test of loyalty, and maybe even a test of survival for the Cleveland Browns.